Happy to present you today my solution to the Sandbox Bit challenge. So what did I do? Well, what you see here is kind of a simulation of the playground, which I will demo later on. So it's this here is the playground, and for Gaba it probably looks familiar. This is the input field that you had, and this is the output field. Now I added some cool new stuff. So in the last presentation we already discussed, I added this pane here. That's basically where I decided to have this solution with two bits, Sandbox Bits with a separate output bit. So the output bits will be presented here. But this is nothing new. That's why I have the star here. This is something that I already showed last time. Now I added three new features, so to say. A new output pane here and two buttons on top. Now I'm super excited to show you what exactly it is. But before I do that, all these features that I added, so this button here, this and this here, are all decoupled from the playground and the parser. So these all come in separate packages that you can decouple or integrate it as you wish. Nice. So in case you don't want this or don't want this and so on, then you can remove it, the package again. Sure. And all is based on the bitmark parser and the playground. So I forked that stuff and then build on top of it. Or as I said, kind of separate, so you can always decouple and couple again. Yeah. So now let's get to the heart of it, the demo. Before I show you the demo, everything is in this GitHub link. It's open, so you should have access. I have a README for the whole project, what I did, why I did things the way I did, and for every package. So for this package here, for this package, for this, I added additional READMEs with even more detail. And I also added the instructions how to start the playground. Well, the start is the same as the original playground. You just need to do one more thing to start these new packages. Yeah. So without further ado, drum roll. So here you see these four panes that I have. I added this thing here. It's called rendered UI. So Gaba was really into some optional feature that would render kind of what we have here. So the developers, whoever would build their bitmark stuff here. And I wanted something that actually visualizes this, so to give a bit more presence. Now, you can see here we have a close question. You can actually type in, and it's also real time. So if I, for instance, here would type something in, it shows up here. Delete it again. There you go. Yeah. And if something is not supported, so not everything is supported by the rendered UI, not every question type and so on. So for instance, so this doesn't even exist, this bit, put something, but then it would show this unsupported.
Nice.
Now, let me show you something else. I will copy a code snippet in here. Cool. What I have now is what already looks maybe familiar to Gaba. I have this app code editor that I re-implemented or reused for the Sandbox output. So here you see these Sandbox outputs, one per example. So example one is this one here. It's here. And then further below, we have the other example, but you actually don't see it here. Why is that? Likewise, here you don't see it. Something, seems wrong, right? Actually, that's something else I implemented. This is this breakscaping. That's actually this button here that I mentioned. So I have two buttons. This one here, and you see here this squiggly line. If I hover over it, it gives me a warning and says, hey, breakscaping is missing. I need to add a caret. So I do that. Voila. Now it's here. nicely displayed, and here as well. And for the rendered UI, I'm actually, here you kind of see 4 bits, right? The app code editor, the Sandbox output JSON, another app code editor, and the bitmark output. But I'm actually rendering only like the main one, so to say, because rendering this wouldn't be very useful here, I guess. So I decided to make a rule to ignore it. And if it's the app code editor, I actually have this thing here that you can outline it like this, or you can get it in the base thing. That's pretty much what I have up here. I mainly use this for debugging, and then I thought maybe the developers or whoever will work with this might also like it, so I kept it. Yes. Now, the coolest feature of all, so how did I involve AI in all of it? It's this thing here. So let me click on it. So as the title says, it's AI chat, but it's not like just connected GPT with it. No, I actually gave it some soul, and I connected it with the bitmark ecosystem, so to say. So this thing is called bitmarkly, and it can help you here developing. So in the background, it did a few things. First of all, the chat has access to the bitmark homepage. So let me show you that. Who is the father of bitmark? In the background, I'm using the LLM from Gemini 2.5 Pro. Yes, that would be correct. So you can already see you're not just chatting with it, it actually can use tools that I gave it. Tools as in it can look up information about bitmark. So I actually stored your whole web page in the background. So it's not actually querying live from your web page, but I made like a screenshot, so to say, of the web page so it can have access to it. And because it's Gemini behind it, it can also speak other languages. Yeah, it's at times a bit cringe, but yeah, you get the idea. So it has the full power of Gemini behind it. And of course, it remembers the history. What did I ask you before? Yeah. So it remembers the whole history, which is very important then if you develop something, that it has the context. For instance, what does Lisa do? There are actually 2 Lisas, so let's see what it spits out now.
We call them Lisa 1 and Lisa 2, so you call this Lisa 1.
Yeah, wow, amazing.
Okay, so yeah. So it knows this because I specifically gave access to the web page. And like this, I also gave access to the code base. So all the code running here, the playground, the parser, this rendered UI, it should have access to it. Now it's AI, so it's not always perfect. At times it might hallucinate. However, these tools that I gave it to it should reduce the hallucination a bit. Yeah. And for instance, asking a question about the code base. I mentioned this rendered UI here. Does not support every question type, so let's ask it which question types are let's see. So I would hope it uses now a tool to actually access the code base, and whenever it uses a tool, we will see the notification here that it did. Yes, it did. It analyzes the source codes. Close, that is correct. That's what I implemented. Here's an example. Multiple choice. Yes, that's what I implemented. Yes. Yes. Okay, so yeah, this is what I supported, so that's correct. Now let's try something else. Let me copy a new code snippet. Now I made a mistake here. You can already see it's unsupported because I wrote close with S, but it should be written with Z like this. But let's see if the AI can help us here. Something is wrong with my... Now it should actually use a tool again to access this pane. So it has access to this one, and to this one. It did. And yes, it figured that out. It should be close. And I can, yeah, I implemented also that you can copy code snippet that it recommends. Here you go. Now,
Very impressive. Super cool.
yeah. And so it's AI. Sometimes it's convinced about something, but that is actually not true. For instance, I can show you this. So now back to the sandbox bit. So we have the app editor, we have this thing here, the output. So if I remove this, it will disappear here from this pane. Maybe I'm a developer that's not aware that I need to add this. So now let me ask it, hey, why is my sandbox bit that I have in the bitmark pane not showing up? So I always refer to the name of the pane because then it's easier for the AI.
Yep.
Not showing up in the... So let's see if it figures it out. So I would hope that it actually tells me I need to add the thing here. Okay. Okay, so now see, that's what I mean. Now it's a bit lost. It should have used the tool to actually look what I have in here, but it didn't.
Yep.
And if it's not using a tool, that's a good indicator that something will be wrong. Because try again. Maybe we need to give it some help, or maybe I should specifically still to look at my pane.
I mean, try again. It's not much of a help, right?
Yeah, see, it does this thing. It still has not used. Look at the code used to flow. I was thinking of actually adding, or maybe that would make sense, like a toggle that would say developer mode, and when you toggle it, that it would always use tools.
Very cool idea.
So it did analyze it, but it's still like it's now lost in a thing. So let me actually, then what I often do is I clear the chat. I can also minimize it, you can close it, open, blah, blah, blah. Why is my sandbox outputs pane empty? I expect to see a bit more from...
Did you now delete the memory? Does
Yes.
this delete the memory?
Yes, so this pin here, it clears the whole memory. If I would minimize it, it doesn't clear. If I now press cross, it doesn't clear. It will be here again. Ah, look. Now it actually used the tool, so happy about that. And it says I need to reference, blah, blah, blah. So that seems to be closer. However, I see it did another mistake. Now, this here is actually not correct syntax. It should be from ID. And then it pops up here. Because before it had this thing here, ID ref. Yeah. So you see, it's not perfect. I mean, in the end, it's just AI. It hasn't been trained on your thing. The only thing I gave it
Mm-hmm.
is tools to access what it sees in here. Whether to use the tools, it's up to the AI. I'm not enforcing it. Yeah.
I mean, also these bits are not yet part of the documentation. Would that help if you will add these bits to documentation? Are you like also like feeding in the documentation, or you go
No,
to the code base?
no documentation, just what is in the code stack. So basically, all of this here, it has
Mm-hmm.
access. So if it's written in a README, then it will have access.
Okay.
Now, I currently see it struggles with this from ID, for instance. Then
Yes.
I could actually add a specific chapter just about this from ID with the
Mm-hmm.
expectation that it then might help it a bit. Yeah. Or, as you said, I could also add the documentation on top of this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, currently there's access to all of this stuff here.
Yeah.
When it accesses this code, it's a bit slow because it needs to search through everything.
Mm-hmm.
So also an improvement here could be to actually index the whole code base so that it has faster access. Yeah.
Very cool. Why did you choose Gemini for the model? I mean, there are models that I think that can better read code, especially the newest ones.
Yes, because price-wise, it's more, it's better than Claude 4.5 or so.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Have you
And
tried Claude? I mean, can you switch between the models? Is this easily, or is it very much tied to Gemini?
it's very much tied to Gemini because of the tools I'm using here.
Yeah.
And Claude uses a bit of different syntax.
Okay, so this is not MCP, or is it?
No,
No.
no,
Okay, I see.
yes. But I was actually thinking, maybe as part of your hackathon that you will have
Mm-hmm.
this year, I don't know if this is a good topic, but could be developer tools. And then one could be to improve the chat or something,
Absolutely.
extend it
Very cool
for
idea.
other LLMs. Because I would assume if other people use it, they would like to input whatever LLM they have
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
access to,
Agree.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, very cool idea. Let's put this on our list, Lisa.
And you can also make it faster, of course. There are a lot of improvements. I was also playing around with code completion by AI.
Mm-hmm.
So when I type in here, it would suggest something, but the quality was not that good, so I removed it again.
Have you tried feeding in the parser grammar? Can Gemini understand the grammar of the parser?
Partly, yes, but then it also at times hallucinates.
Okay.
Yeah, makes up things that actually are not true. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
It is super cool. Yeah, I'm absolutely impressed.
Cool, happy to be. And yeah, then the usual functionality, you can drag it around.
Mhm.
And of course, another future improvement would be to actually support all of the
Of
different
course.
question types. Yeah. And this, I saw that when I presented you to his, and your developer already implemented it, that he integrated it in this pane here.
Yeah,
I did not do it because I wanted to actually show you what I did, so here it's more visible. But of
yeah, it's a
course,
very
this
good
could
idea.
be one piece, yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I'm
also,
impressed. That's really, really cool. Congratulations, Ron.
thank you.
That's,
Very happy. It was really fun, especially this AI chat.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We can see that you had a lot of fun, and big jump for us. We just have fun watching you doing the demo. That's really cool. Yeah.
But yeah, with AI, it's always a bit cautious, because you also use it often, I guess. So yeah, it can
Absolutely.
hallucinate. But it's really nice because of these tools. When you see, you ask it something about here, what you wrote in here, and it's actually not using a tool, then you already should realize, hey, it might hallucinate because it
Mm-hmm.
actually is not looking at what I have written here. Yeah.
Maybe there's one point
Mhm.
that we take into account is the communication between the bits. So how do these bits communicate, the code editor and the sandbox output bit? That's one thing that what I would be interested in to understand.
Actually, let's see if the AI knows. Okay, that's a good sign. Yes.
This is it true?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's absolutely great. Yeah,
Yeah.
testing.
Good testing. Yeah. Feel free to ask any other questions that I
Hmm.
could add to the AI. Yeah.
That's mainly the. I mean, all the other questions you perfectly covered
Mm.
with your demo. That would have been the one question that was
Mm.
open on my
And
checklist.
I
So
also, I believe it should be documented in here as well how they communicate with each other.
mhm.
But yeah, documentation wise, I have this main README, and then here you see the chat. Actually, I made two for the backend and front end,
Mhm.
two packages. These two you already know, and this is for the pane here, the rendered UI.
Nice.
And in each one, it has their own READMEs again.
Super cool. Thank you very much.